And we are recording. So, as with previous adventures, if someone would like to recount what happened last time to bring us all up to speed, I will award an experience point. Who wants a free experience point for
I'll
essentially
give it a crack
beating the
at it.
timeline? Go for
I
it.
believe we began our adventure with the attempted recruitment of Ed's character, whose name I can't remember right now. Dasco, yes. And basically, after explaining to him all the cashy moolah that they were going to get, he basically wrapped up his little snake oil shack, and they made their way to a little township to try and recruit a miner. And it basically went through a harrowing mystery solving process of trying to find out who was responsible for the uh, dissolution of the Diamond Hands crew. They eventually discovered that the candlestick maker, Crumbles, was the one responsible for selling out the whole crew, and they essentially went to an engineering facility where he was hiding out, engaged in a rowdy battle, and and also tipped off some janitors to make the floors extra waxy so that they could make a harrowing escape with their captive. And then they turned in their captive, resolved the issue, and were able to hire Rorik Grass as their miner. And the lesbians are all happy now. Sort of.
Excellent.
Two of the three are pretty happy. The one that is currently in your party is working on it.
Receive your glorious experience point as a reward. And so, on what in the current timeline document we're calling day 4, because we're calling day 0 the day that Remy got out of jail. The crew has woken up, headed back to the main road. You're about a day's journey from the main road, so it'll be evening of day 4 when you arrive back at the main Dwarven road that runs north from Baron to High Fort and on through High Fort into Thoradil. Approaching the main road as the sun is setting, you see that there is, in one of the really luxurious nooks that the dwarves put into their road, they have these like campsites that are set aside with running water that's like some kind of crazy aqueduct system brings it, so there's always fresh water there. There's dedicated fire pits and everything. It's really like well thought out. And on that, there are people already camping. It's a fair-sized group, but this is a pretty luxurious spot, so they can make space for you. One of the people that's here you recognize. You recognize that the mining foreman that you had seen at the bar back in Baron is here now, only he's dressed up in a fair approximation of a mercenary's outfit. They seem to still be working on getting a unified banner for the group, but a bunch of former miners from Baron have purchased secondhand swords and armed themselves up and seem to have formed their own mercenary company. And they're stopping here for the night before continuing north to try to join the war effort.
Want to try to make friends with these people or talk to them or ignore them?
Who's with you?
It's what? Ed, Jackie, myself, and this. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll need to know who is going to be the next person that you go to recruit. Who's next along the road? I know it seems weird that it's like you're deciding who's next, and yet mysteriously they appear on the road, but narratively we're just going to presume that you're such a genius organizer that you have chosen a team that specifically you can recruit in the order that best benefits you.
Well, I mean, I was thinking next the Smith might be nice.
Yeah.
But I have no idea if anyone else has a preference.
Cool.
Yeah, let's just go with the Smith in that case.
Do we want to talk to this fancy, well-to-do guy that knows things apparently, or knows something about something?
If you're going to be traveling north, they're also going to be traveling north, and so you'd be traveling for a couple days with them before you would split off and go down a side road to visit the township that the Smith is at. The Middle Kingdoms is a strange place politically, because unlike a lot of places where townships would form on the main road as a natural trading hub, in the Middle Kingdoms, townships are formed around sources of income as heroes retire. And heroes don't often retire directly on the main road. They usually travel off the main road a couple days before setting up what will eventually be a pool of money that drains into the community around them. There are some towns on the main road, but yeah, the one you're heading to is not. So you'll probably travel along the main road for about 2 days with these guys. If you'd like to make conversation with them, look into what they're doing, that's fine. Otherwise, yeah, you don't have to.
Well, hello there, friends. What brings you to the road? You guys look pretty well equipped, I think.
They indicate that they're heading north to trying to contribute to the war against Aphthis, as they heard the call, and since it seems like what they were doing before in Baron is pretty much over with. Yeah, in fact, a lot of them were imprisoned for non-payment for cures, so they're happy to just kind of gather themselves together and go try to contribute something positive to the world by stabbing people.
That is a noble effort. A noble effort, friends.
As a Mordekin, it is your estimation that these guys are definitely below average in terms of combat capability, but they got a lot of hit points from all that lifting and labor that they've done in the mines. So they might last a fair amount of time while doing minimal damage.
Do I believe that they have any currency on them, or are they basically poor, just carrying the stuff they have on their back?
They definitely spent some currency to get outfitted in Baron, since you know that the people of Baron would not have just given away all these swords, and these guys are not expert swordsmen, so they didn't have them lying around. But whether they had anything left over or not is not particularly clear.
Fair. Being that we're going to be traveling with them for a couple days, I'll leave them alone for right now. Better not to travel with people that I've traded with.
Right, you don't want to scam them until the last day.
You're a bad man. You remind me of the brig that was going to try and, quote unquote, be friends with us today. We just want to be friends. Shoots cannonballs.
All right, then. It's unless anybody wants to do anything else, I'm not going to rush it.
No, I think I'm good.
All right, you travel with them for 2 days, and then they, say their farewells. They're quite hopeful to join up with another group, and they continue on their way.
All right. Let's go find this smith.
Alrighty. So whereas traveling along the main road, you were making tremendous progress. It was easygoing, perfectly straight route, comfortable path to walk on, truly a road. You're now kind of going down what you'd call a cart path. And the only reason it's here is because carts have driven over it enough that they've dug rivets into the ground. And after another about day and a half of travel, you come at midday to what Kristen will describe. What kind of a town is this?
I'd say this is kind of a town for passers-by. So there's not much here other than an inn, a tavern, and the various people that live here who work at those establishments. It's kind of unsuspecting. Doesn't look like there's a lot of money or anything here. Just people making a living, you know?
A town in decline, one might say.
I guess so, you know, you might say.
Now, I believe the intelligence that you had was that at least a few days ago, the criminal lord of this particular little hamlet had some high-value personnel imprisoned in their vault. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I think I misspoke in the last session. There's actually a couple people that are imprisoned together, and then Barnabas the Smith is actually imprisoned elsewhere. You don't, I suppose you don't know where. I'm not sure like what kind of information they have, but I was kind of assuming that they have like a dossier with like the whole Shadow Serpent's crew or whatever, and are familiar with the people in the crew.
They have some information, but a lot of it's also based on rumor and conjecture. But yeah, let's give them a challenge. We did challenge rating 10 for the last one. I think that's been appropriate. So let's see if they can put together 10 successes to free Barnabas.
Cool. I didn't write up a bunch, but I kind of came up with like a couple challenges because I thought there was going to be a couple dice rolls or something we needed to prepare for. So
excellent.
Yeah.
So
like
go
the first challenge I think would be finding where Barnabas is. And so I was thinking that like the intelligence that you have is that they're being held at an undisclosed location. You know who they're being held by. Someone named Jade, who they are the owner of the precious item that the Shadow Serpents kind of failed at heisting. Well, actually, they did get a hold of the item, but like they all are now apprehended, so they're not in a good position right now. And Jade took Barnabas specifically because he was like the head of the group, so she took issue with that. So to find Barnabas, I would say there's maybe a couple options you might have. You could kind of go track down some of the other crew members. 3 of them are imprisoned right now, so that might be kind of annoying to deal with. One of them is actually free and clear. They work at the local tavern. Their name's Lily. Or Jax, who's the owner of the tavern, who is kind of helping fence this precious item, also would be very familiar with Jade and would probably know where Barnabas was taken.
All right, party. What would you like to do to try and begin your process of locating and rescuing Barnabas?
To the tavern.
You always want to just go straight to the tavern.
There's only like 2 buildings in this whole village: a tavern and an inn.
One of them has beer.
And in rural areas like this, the difference between a tavern and an inn is kind of a matter of how nice it is, right? Both probably have rooms for rent. Both of them are serving alcohol. One has a slightly better polished sign in front of it, is probably the main difference. All right, so the party enters the tavern. What do they see?
All right, so yeah, Lily is probably behind the bar serving drinks. You don't see Jax. Maybe he's in the back. Who knows? He's the owner, so he's not usually out on the floor. And there's just a couple patrons here and there scattered at various tables. It's pretty dusty and grimy in here.
All right. So we need to talk to Lily.
Presumably. Talus may take a great pains to touch as little as possible in this place.
Now, one of the things that you'll notice Jackie did previously that works really well is to have the first person they talk to be very reluctant to give them information, and then make them make their first kind of roll to see if they can convince the person to give them information.
Totally. Yep, that makes sense. Like, Lily wouldn't really want to be giving up this information. There's nothing for her to gain for giving up this information.
So let's narrate a little scene with them and Lily. Have Lily be reluctant to give up the info, and then when they put up a good argument, we'll decide if that argument is worth pips on their roll, and have them roll a persuasion check.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if Dasco would be better to take the lead on this one, as him and Lily do the same thing, and Lily has part of the goods from their heist, as far as I know. Like, she's the one that survived the breakup, and so I don't know, maybe finding out about the goods would help us lead to where the people are.
Yeah, a little background. Like, there was I'm sure there's a lot of things that got stolen, and now she's gotten them back. You know, the tavern you're in is actually doubles as a fencing operation. And she's, the right hand person of Jax, who owns the tavern. And what she got out of the double crossing, the heist, is that she's going to become part owner of the tavern. So she has a vested interest in keeping that business going. She's very money motivated, I guess you could say.
All right. Well, I saunter up to the bar and say, I'll have whatever the house recommends.
All right. She goes and grabs a glass. It's a bit dusty. Pours you some sort of brew from a tap. Not sure what it is, but probably something edible.
Okay. As you're coming back, you see me drop something heavy and shiny. It's like gold. Kind of drop it out of my coat. It lands on the bar with kind of a thud. I look around really quickly and really rapidly tuck it back in my sleeve and look around to see if anyone saw it.
Yeah, that definitely caught Lily's eye. So she happened to see that and is pretty interested in it now. You can tell she's keeping an eye on you.
I look up and see that you're there. I look a bit startled, and then I say, thank you for the drink. Thank you for the drink.
All right, she slams it down. And she's like, "Here's your ale. What brings you around these parts?"
I look around, kind of eyes darting around the room, and I say, "Just looking for some people. You don't happen to know anyone around here that trades in, let's call it, rare goods?"
I might know someone. What kind of good are we talking about?
I kind of look around nervously and I say, "You know what? Forget it. Thank you for the beer."
She grabs your hand and looks at you intently and says, "You can definitely trust me."
I look. Dasco kind of looks across the bar and says, "Yeah, maybe I can. Maybe I can. There's so few people that I can trust." What? I'm looking for a group here. They're called the what are they called again? The
Shadow Serpent.
Yeah, looking for a group. They're only known as the Shadow Serpents. I have an item that I think might be of value. Just trying to get rid of it before it gets rid of me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard of no Shadow Serpents, but I definitely know some people who might be interested in helping you with this item.
Where would I find those people?
I could put you in touch. What exactly are you looking to do here?
It's like, let's just say I picked up some stuff from a place to the west called High Fort. Just a couple of trinkets or whatever. They're Apthian. They're pretty valuable, I think.
Quick note: High Fort is north, but that's okay. I'm just going to assume you said north. We'll keep going.
Are we in the Middle Kingdoms?
Yeah.
Because High Fort's at the far west of the Middle Kingdoms.
Really? I thought High Fort was where the road meets Thordil. You're
It's
thinking
south
of Bone
Dala.
Pillar, right?
High Fort's south of Dala, which is west of Thordil.
Where's my map? No, High Fort and Thor, because High Fort is at the gates of Thordil. Like the gates of Thordil literally open into High Fort.
That's not true. The gates of Dala open into High Fort, or did. The gnomes are north of High Fort, not the dwarves.
We snuck away from High Fort at some point and went through into like the gnomish kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like a back passage.
Open the map.
I'm looking at the map. Thordil and High Fort are like on top of each other.
I mean, they're close, but they're not definitely not top. Where's the map?
Aren't we just north of Baron right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's north and west then. Yeah. High Fort is not on the road to Thordil. It's off to the west.
Gonna need a more zoomed in. We're gonna need to zoom in this map.
Yeah, we need a zoomed in map.
Where is the map?
We've played adventures where we've had to go through High Fort to get to the gates to Thordil. Like the Thars had to do
We have
that.
not.
They had to sneak through.
There is a town south of Thordil, but it's not.
What is that town?
It's can't remember the name of it. It's not very important. It's like Gateway, I think.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
All right. Well,
Can't
I'll
find the-
rewrite that part of the adventure when we get to it. For now, proceed.
In any case,
Could I take a look at the items you're looking to get off your hands?
I chuckle and I say, well, I don't think we know each other that well.
All right.
I mean,
It's
if
all
you'd be
good.
willing to maybe help me out a bit, then maybe I could give you a look.
Yeah. I don't really have much help to spare. She starts walking away.
Lily's like, all right, then keep your secrets.
All right, so I shrug, stand up, and head back over to the rest of the group, and I say, doesn't want to talk about the snakes. I might have an in for a fence or something. She's interested. She thinks we're carrying some sort of Aptian relic.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah, that map is not great.
Well, I'm presumably overdressed for this establishment, and so I'm going to actually walk up to Bar in that case. Yeah, I'm going to walk up to Bars and take their bridge. Excuse me, Lily, is it?
Yep, that's the name.
Hello, lovely. So, if you don't want to talk about the snakes, how much to talk about that fence we needed?
I'm not sure about these snakes you're talking about, but I can put you in touch with someone, especially if you got something.
We have stuff, things, items of various.
Stuff things.
We have nouns.
All right.
Still
Okay, so-
distance, right?
Lily's gonna walk to the back, and she basically just gets up and then walks to the back without saying anything. But basically, what she's doing is she's going to grab Jax because she thinks that whatever this item is, it's probably something that he'll want to be involved in, and he's usually the negotiator. All right. A couple moments later, she comes back out with another man. And he comes up to you and says, all right, well, I hear you're looking to fence something. You came to the right place.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Is there a place we could talk more in private?
Of course, of course. And then he points to the back row. We can head back there.
All right. I assume it's fine that my associates come with me.
Sure. Might be a little tight, but you can come on back.
Rorik stands up and she's like 6 fucking feet tall.
Going for an intimidation roll, are we?
I mean, she's just big. He says it's a little tight in there, and she's like, well, she tries to make herself small and is not doing good at that.
All right. Jaxel looks at everyone over at the table. I assume you're all sitting down at a table, and gestures to come to the back. and heads back there.
Avatar is going to walk just slightly behind Rorak as they enter.
All right, you enter a room. It's basically, it looks like it's maybe his office. There's like a desk and one chair and lots of paperwork strewn about. There's not much room. There's pretty much standing room, except for the chair. And he sits down at the chair.
Roderick leans on the wall next to the doorway.
All right. Well, I think now's the time where you show me what you got.
I am going to nod to Dasco, hoping that Dasco has a plan.
I kind of look around nervously and say, "Is this?" I look over at you guys and just say, "We okay with doing business with this one, boss?"
Yeah.
They seem adequate.
Okay. So I pull out a. Basically, it's just like a copper necklace. It's not really worth anything. It's just a basic copper necklace. I kind of set it on the table, and I say, "This is an Apthian relic. I picked it up in Highfort after the battle, and trying to get rid of it. It kind of talks to me sometimes. I hear there's some people who may be very interested in this, particularly with the war going on. I'm also going to use sword salesman. So."
Oh yeah, I should get that list up there.
So I'm assuming it's a basic copper thing, like quality 2 or something.
That would make sense.
It'd be treated as valuable because we use sword salesman, so it's worth 2 dice in negotiations.
All right. And you're trying to trade it for information on the whereabouts of a person, right?
Yes.
Or has that not come up yet in conversation?
We haven't brought it up yet.
Okay.
Were we gonna? Sorry, is there gonna be? Oh, sorry, you're using a talent so that. Okay, I didn't know if there was gonna be a roll or whatever. So automatically, I would think that this is very valuable based on.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth at least. You think that it's valuable, and I can convince you that it's more valuable. We can have a discussion about that.
All right.
It's yeah. He's convincing enough with the talent that he's getting 2 dice towards this trade, this exchange of what I guess they're going to try and leverage into trading for information.
Okay. Cool. So Jax puts his hand out and is like, "Can I take a look at that? I need to take a closer look."
Sure. Careful what you touch, though. Thing has a way of imprinting itself on you. Wouldn't want you to be cursed. The mummy's curse.
All right then. How about you put it on the table in front of me instead?
That is definitely safer.
As you set it down on the table, some papers rustle around, and then some sort of bug scurries across the table onto the floor. All right. This definitely looks like something I might be interested in. What exactly are you looking to get for this?
I'm looking to get rid of it for a reasonable price. Now, that reasonable price, I think, could be information. My employers here are interested in some specific information. I think that this little item right here, kind of tapping on the piece of the copper necklace, is well worth any information you might have.
Any chance you now remember about those snakes?
Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. My audio is not working. Oh, wait. There we go. I'm back. All right. Yeah. Definitely information does have a certain value. What kind of information are you looking for here?
Well, yeah, I look at Lily as I say this. Maybe to jog your memory about the snakes that we were talking about? The shadow serpents?
Yeah. We dealt with the shadow serpents before, you know. In fact, Lily was involved with them. Got caught up in a real mess. But they're all done now. They're done for.
Are they? That's a shame. That's a real shame. Because last I heard, through the grapevine, they were, let's say, held. And we've had a run-in or two with them. And we would like to have an, well, we say run-in with them. We've had run-in with one of them. And we would like to be able to have a word with that one. If you know what I mean?
And this would be a good time to have them roll that persuasion check. Remember that they're going to be adding an extra 2 dice because of Dasko's used sword salesman talent and his giving up of the quality 2 entirely worthless trinket that you now believe is magical.
Cool. Yeah. So, what's their name? Who are you looking for here?
You know,
Barnabas.
yeah. Not even sure it's his real name, but that's what we know by.
Jax's demeanor immediately changes. He's got a bit of a scowl on his face now. Oh, Barnabas. Yeah, Barnabas. He deserves everything he's getting right now. Sorry, I don't think I can help you.
Well, what is he getting?
Probably nothing nice, that's for sure. He's getting what he's due. He's very likely being tortured right now, but he deserved it.
Oh, I do not disagree. But there's some. Look, I think we're on the same side of this here. And I would love to be able to get our hands on him. See, we don't set up shop places, so it's very often we don't have a chance to get our revenge as long as we would like it. But in this case, maybe there's a chance. If you could just help us and tell us where he is, who we need to talk to, who might be, inflicting unspeakable horrors upon him, we'd really appreciate it. And I think you'll agree that drink is more than enough for that information.
Jack sits back. You can tell he's thinking about it. At this point, do we roll against each other, or what's the...
Right, so at this point what I would do is I would just have them roll a persuasion check against the total 10 successes that you want them to accomplish to actually find him, to see how much progress they make out of this. And then based on how many successes they get, give them information that leads them towards an ultimate success.
Cool. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I guess you'll need to make a persuasion check to see if Jax gives up Barnabas's location.
Would this be persuasion check plus Cuddy? Because I'm absolutely lying through my teeth right now.
Oh, for sure.
I would agree
Definitely.
with that, though I feel like she should get pips for that very good, convincing statement.
Yeah, that's generally with conversations like this. You want to award pips as though a good argument is a weapon. So we're going to treat a good argument as a weapon. Now, how many pips you want to kind of think about? Like the basics weapons that you just pick up like off the ground or in a shop are going to be quality 1 or 2. The really good like high forge, this is premium shit, is going to be like a quality 3 or 4. The like this is a magical artifact or a unique item would be a 5 or 6. So from that kind of scale, what would you say numerically this argument was? Was this something picked up off the ground? Was this high quality craftsmanship, or was this freaking magical?
I'd say. Let's make it a 3.
Okay.
So Jax is a petty bitch.
Oh yeah.
All right. So yeah, we want to see a persuasion check with 3 pips and 2 bonus dice for the
Oh,
awesome
I didn't roll the
plus
bonus dice. My apologies. I guess Tasco could roll those as well.
Yeah.
There are 2 pips remaining. I forgot to add in the bonus dice. Alright. So that's 5 successes.
All right. And with a total difficulty of 10, 5 successes means they're essentially halfway there. So probably want to give them some pretty good information for all that.
Totally. All right. Barnabas leans in. Oh, wait, sorry, not Barnabas. Jax. Wrong person. Jax leans in. He's like, all right. At this point, I'm kind of sick of seeing Barnabas's face around here, so I'll tell you where he is. Someone named Jade has taken him. She's definitely putting him through some torture right now, and she's got a couple of goons with her, so I definitely come in there with some strong people. It looks like, and Jax looks over at Rorik. It looks like you got that covered.
Rorik grunts in the corner.
Yeah, and they're holed up at one of the rooms over at the inn. Just tell the innkeeper I sent you. They'll let you know which room. They'll even give you a key if you need it.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate the help, and hopefully you won't have to deal with them any longer.
Here, here.
So I presume it's off to the end.
Now, this is a good point to sort of bring up and review flashback powers. You guys are about to go into a combat situation. You could go in as you are with the crew you've got, and that's totally fine. You also could rewind time a little bit to back when you were on the main road and use your bribery skill to hire a couple of the mercenaries that were coming along to go head north to basically just come with you guys for a day to earn some quick coin. All they've got to do is hang back, wait until you guys have acquired the information you need, and then meet up with you to help you storm whatever place it is you expected to fight. Flashback powers do not have a limit to how far back they can go. You could have hired these guys all the way back in Baron if you really wanted to. So, yeah, that's an option that's just out there. I just want to sort of remind you guys how those work. Did you guys want to do anything to prepare before heading to the location to try and rescue Barnabas?
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a good idea. I would like to flash back and hire them to do basically provide protection and help us out for a day, settling some old scores. I'll keep with the same line.
Okay. Who would like to play as one of these hired persons?
I feel like Tice or Troy.
Yeah, it's good. A good call since they don't have the character in here already. There is the mercenary, the commander of that mercenary group, Haderach, is available, and also others. You guys could name some new guys if you want to. So the mercenaries will agree to wait for you guys to come back, and this is their first official job as mercenaries. They're actually getting paid to be rough, tough guys. It's pretty exciting for them, really. Tice, Troy, did you guys want to play as just random guys? Or does one of you want to play as Haderach, the current commander of that mercenary group?
I'll play as the commander. Tyson will.
Okay. Commander has a physical. He has his traits are his physical traits are a 4. His mental and social stuff is a 3, but he has a 5 of leadership. So specifically, when you're doing things like barking orders, you've got 5 dice.
It's better than my leadership.
He doesn't have aptitudes though, so he's just straight up rolling, just 5 dice. You would roll your leadership plus something, right? It's just a quick NPC. And then the other guy is going to be a big old brute with 5 in physical stuff and 2 in just other stuff. Troy, if you're playing as that brute, what would be that brute's name?
It's a good question.
You gotta have something that tops Grok, because Grok was epic.
Watch him name him Gronk with like an N. Just like,
Gosh, way to ruin it. I was seriously trying to come up with a name that was going to be really, really close, and now I can't do it.
Just play Kronk, like from Kronk's New Groove.
Korg, just spell it backwards. Eventually, you will play every possible arrangement of the letters G, R, O, and K.
Yeah, I mean, based on that, let's do Korg.
All right. So Korg and Haderach have been waiting in the shadows so as not to give away what you guys are planning. And now that you've gotten the information you need, they come out and join the party.
All right, so we need to go to the inn, ask him for the key because Jack sent us, and break out Barnabas, the dwarf.
Make sure that Barnabas comes out in one piece. The rest that are in that room, whatever.
Duly noted.
If it's high, you get to go to the fancy joint.
What's that, sorry?
You get to go to the fancy joint.
Alright. Yeah. Alright. So let's. I mean, when we headed there with the mercenaries, it's going to be obvious we're looking for a fight. But let's go. Alright.
I mean, presumably we're there under good pretenses, like we're saying we're being sent by somebody, so we have an in. I know. It was really good.
You're fired. We're hiring a new miner. No. Okay. Well, let's head in. We'll carry it. Approach the innkeeper.
Hey, what can I do for you?
Ooh, what phrases?
Jack
Hello.
sent us?
So, we have been sent here by Jax. Do you by chance have a key to room holding a jade, I believe it is?
Yes. Yeah, they actually have 2 rooms. Rooms 4 and 5. Here you go. If Jax sent you, then I trust. I trust you, and I trust Jax.
Thank you.
Fatal mistake.
Thank you. I slide over a single coin just as a token of goodwill. It might be a rock that Dasker sold me earlier, I don't know.
They pick it up. They're like, thanks.
I'll go back group 4 or 5. Do we want to see if we can find out which room Barnabas is in before we smash down the door?
Are we smashing or are we finessing?
I mean, we have a key, right? We can just unlock the
Yeah,
door.
finesse sounds easier.
I forgot we did that.
You just paid a coin for it.
That's right. Thank you for reminding me. You know, completely forgot.
Smashing
Evatala has
remains
like
an
a
option.
truly whimsical like.
Yeah.
Should we get to do the crime now?
crime. You see her like sadly put away her wrench.
She still
That she's-
has the wrench.
Yes. All right. Well, finesse away, I guess.
Yeah, the innkeeper looks over and goes, "Oh, those rooms, by the way, they're upstairs." And then points over some stairs in the back.
Up the stairs, presumably.
Let's go unlock the door.
So you head up the stairs, and by the time you get to the top of the stairs, you start hearing some commotion. And down the hall, there's a couple people. They're posted up outside room number 4. They look dangerous. The commotion seems to be coming from room number 4 as well.
We'll walk up with the key and unlock the door like it's my room.
the two people standing at the door like grab your arm before you can even get the key in the door. They're like, what are you doing?
Yo, hands
Now-
off.
If Chris doesn't want them to grab his arm, this could be a contested roll.
Okay. They go to grab your arm. Their intent is to stop you from using the key.
Exactly.
Can't. What? Do they have like
Yeah.
weapons on them or anything?
They're heavily armed. You can see
Good.
battle axes and whatnot.
Okay. I don't want to contest him. I don't want to contest the what is it? The guy my arm. I do want to steal his knife off of him and threaten him with that instead. So I will roll for that.
All right. That sounds like a crime roll if ever I've heard one. Do you have any talents that can do that automatically?
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Talents. No, I do have. Well, I have pickpocket.
And what does pickpocket do?
Spend 1 crime to steal any small item off an unsuspecting individual without them noticing.
Kristen, you think this guy is unsuspecting and that he doesn't expect the person whose arm he's grabbing to have taken his knife off of his own belt? I love the search engine. I type the word unsuspecting in and pickpocket comes up as the result.
I mean, to be fair, if I were a heavily armed guard in a group of 4 standing out in front of a guarded door and some dude walked up and put the key in the lock, I'd be unsuspecting about all of that stuff. Like basically everything that's just happened.
Yeah, I think that's a fair reading of that. So he doesn't notice that you've taken his knife. You can reveal that you've now taken his knife, Jim, if you want.
So yeah. So I'll hold the knife up to his throat and tell him that Jax will be very upset if he doesn't get his hand off me right now.
Kristen, how does the guard respond?
The guard is maybe only in passing familiar with who Jax is. And
But wouldn't he know that his boss knows who Jax is, right?
I guess so, yeah. Never mind. Okay, there is the other person there. So I imagine that they would not take too kindly to the other guard having a knife to their throat. So I think they're going to intervene.
Combat.
Alrighty, it's gonna be a battle.
I kind of want to stage something like where there's like 2 different people with knives at their throats, but I don't know if I can like pull that off. Like,
Just a Congo line of people with knives to throats.
yeah.
It's time for everyone to come save me. My performance is higher than my fighting.
Don't worry, bro. I got you. Hang on a second. I have anticipation, but I don't know how. I don't think that wouldn't apply in this case.
The other guard's going to make a move. They go to grab someone else. Whoever's closest, I guess. Whoever's closest that is not Rorik.
I was gonna say.
I pull out one of my tonics, start waving my hands in the air. I say, "Everybody stops, or we all die right here." I hold it over like a grenade.
Oh no, that's a fantastic bluff. I think at this point, like some dice need to hit the table here. So what Dasco is doing is definitely like kind of area of effect composure attack, essentially, right?
I'm a walking area of effect attacks.
So what I would do in this situation is I would have Dasco make a performance roll, and see just how convinced these guards are of it, and figure that these guys are probably good at physical, bad at mental, unless there's some reason why they would be good at mental. So in your head, try and figure out the balance of, and what I like to do typically is I like to have like between like 6 and 7 as a total number, and then kind of figure out how to balance it between mental and physical ability. Where do you think these guys fall in terms of like their mental capacity to handle weird situations that are outside of their experience?
Probably minimal.
Like-
They're mostly muscle.
It's like a 2 at best.
Like the one that has their knife to the throat is a 2, and the other one's a 1.
Okay. So what we'll want to do then is see how many of these guards are removed by this threat, basically. How many of them are willing to put down their weapons because of this bluff. So we'll want to see the dice for the performance. Performance plus empathy, I think. Or whatever you'd like to argue.
Well, I was gonna. I can use. I could performance. I think makes the most sense. I was gonna use persuasion, but I think performance in this case makes more sense. I don't have any performance, but that's all right. Empathy's fine, or cunning, and then they're the same, so it doesn't really matter. And then I'm advantaged in this particular situation. I mean, for a variety of reasons, but mainly because I have a mastery in lying. So I'm going to go ahead and tap my criminal potential as well. So that'll give me 3 dice.
Okay.
Not amazingly convincing, but it is.
No, yeah. It may not be amazing, but it did the job. So one of them at least is giving up, surrendering, or
And-
perhaps even running in terror.
And definitely the most important one, because it's the one that doesn't have a knife to their throat.
So how many guards were there to start with?
So there's 2 in the posted at the door. While all of this is happening, you do hear the muffled, tortured sounds of someone from within the room. So you assume that there's at least 2 people in the room. One of them probably being Barnabas.
Okay, so
But yeah,
I'd
2
have
posted outside.
I'd have the guard that doesn't have the knife to his throat run away in terror because he only had the 1 point of mental capacity anyway. And yeah, that leaves the guy that's got a knife to his throat, which is a fairly precarious position for a person to be in.
Indeed. Yep. Yeah, the one guard that didn't have the knife to their throat just runs, just books it. There's like a window down the hall. They like barrel through the window actually and just somersault.
And if you think about it, when you live in a world in which wizards are real, and there really are like lethally dangerous potions in the world, they exist. You know this for a fact. You've heard stories, maybe even seen some. If somebody holds
Or
up a
see
potion,
aftermath,
yeah. Oh yeah, and like we're in a world where recently a moon fell out of the sky, and there's like magical plagues destroying entire civilizations. So some guy holds up a potion and says, "Don't move or I'll kill you all." It's not unreasonable to think that that guy might have something incredibly dangerous in that bottle. What is in the bottle, by the way?
That's Ashta. It's mostly watered down Ashta, but yeah.
Nice. Mind you, they jumped out the window of a 2nd-story building.
So Tweedledee and Tweedledum has exited the fucking building. It's like, I'm not paying over this shit.
Exactly.
Alrighty. How is the gentleman with the knife to his throat going to respond to this? he was not affected and so is not terrified, but does have a knife to his throat.
Yeah, I think at this point, their back is literally up against the wall. So they're just going to fold, like, all right, I don't know what you got in that there bottle, but at this point, I don't get paid enough for this shit. So do whatever you're going to do. I'm out of here. Just let me go, please.
You said they have battle axes?
This person does have a battle axe. It's on their. I don't think they have it like in their hands right now.
All right, Avatala is going to go over and take the battle axe, and then say to Remy, "Think you can let him go now?"
I would love it if like she picks it up and then just like like it goes down to the ground because it's heavy as fuck.
Oh, absolutely does. She tries to play it off like, I'm just resting on it. But yeah, Avatala now has a battle axe. Does she know how to do with it? No, but she has it.
This would be a good thing for Warwick to use anticipation on and just take it.
Anticipation is to mitigate consequences.
Exactly.
Oh, in that case, sure.
I'm just curious. Before you let this man go, shouldn't you ask who's in the room so you can, so we know exactly what we're going to be prepared for? This man would know.
Brilliant question. That's why we pay you the big bucks. Who's in the room?
We know. Rorik scratches the back of her head and just opens the door.
Well, you don't have the key.
I take the key from Remy, insert it into the door, and open it. I should be taking point anyways.
Alrighty, what does Rorik find inside that room?
So, in the room, Barnabas, he's tied up to a chair. Definitely looks worse for wear. And there is a gentleman there with various sharp tools splayed out on the bed, covered in blood. And he's kind of hunched over Barnabas, about to, inflict some number of other means of pain.
Does he know we're here?
Yeah, I guess at this point, yeah, you guys walk in and he's like startled from his trance, his torture trance. Looks over at the door. I was like, "Who are you? What are you doing here? How did you get in here?"
We're the night shift.
I am the night.
So is it just the one guy?
Yep, just the one guy.
And this is a named character. So this is a little more like a boss fight right now.
Yeah, he does have quite a few, like, various weapons laid about. So he's heavily armed.
Good. So let's give this guy a number of combat dice that he's going to roll, and also a number of defensive dice that he's going to roll. So what is his offense and what is his defense in terms of number of dice? And then because we decided this was originally going to be a 10 success thing, and they've already got 5, they need to score 5 hits against him by overcoming his defenses before the party suffers too much damage from physical attack. So, yeah, go ahead and decide how many offensive and how many defensive dice should this person have?
What is what's the total number that I can distribute there, or what's like a reasonable number?
This is up to you. Something to keep in mind here is that most members of this party have, at best, an aptitude of 3, but some of them do have skills that can total up to like 4. So some people in this party might be rolling up to 7 dice, right? Which is a good number. you don't want this guy to be overpowered, but he's going up against a group of party members as well. So you want him to have like a decent defense that they'll have to work together to overcome each round, and an offense that they might have to work to mitigate it in some way.
If I can interject here, this is where somebody with a leadership skill may want to do something in order to give helper dice to other people to improve their rate of success.
Yeah. So I would suggest giving him like somewhere around like say 7 or 8 defensive dice each round, and then have him aggress with like 4 or 5 offensive dice.
Okay, that makes sense. You said each round?
Yes. So what you're going to do is you're going to present them with some sort of. You're going to basically roll the defensive dice and say, this is what you've got to break through this round, and present some sort of challenge. He put up a shield. He's thrown like dust in the air that obscures vision, something that's making it difficult to attack him. And then the party will work together to try and get enough dice together to overcome whatever that obstacle is, based on how many successes he gets. It's more like a boss fight than a crowd fight.
Cool. And then, like, how many rounds are there? Like, if there is there a total pool they're trying to chip down? I guess they have to get 5.
They got to get 5. Which, I mean, can happen on the first hit, right? Like, we've seen some crazy shit go down when parties do team attacks. So when they start pooling themselves together and doing that kind of leadership stuff like Jackie was talking about, they might just end this right away. But we'll see.
Just for a point of reference, as the primary physical character, I have a vigor of 3 because that's all I could afford, but I have a melee of 5. I maxed that shit out.
Yeah.
So that's a total of 8 dice that I can roll in combat situations.
Yeah, that's like my favorite thing.
All right.
So yeah, let's start by Kristen. You go ahead and roll 8 defensive dice, and then based on the number of successes, we'll narrate some kind of cool thing he's doing to make it hard to hit him. There we go. 5 successes. What's he doing that's making it difficult to come at him? Traps in the floor, a hail of daggers.
So he's got a series of sharp things at his side. So he'll kind of grab a handful of them, basically, like between his fingers, like in both hands, and just like chuck them in the direction of the door, where I guess the concentration of people entering are.
Excellent. And then let's also then put 5 dice down of an attack against that first person. All right, so Jackie, your character was first through the door, so you've got an attack of 2 coming at you, but also there's generally a mess of flying objects in the air, which will make it hard to attack. And so now we're going to let the party kind of put together their plan. The first thing that they're going to try and do is try to deal with the 2 damage coming at Jackie. She might decide she's just going to take it, or she might try to make a roll to block it. But chances are she wants to use her roll in an attack that the party helps her with. So we'll see what that comes up to.
Yeah, I would rather just take the consequence.
Okay.
Than use any of my abilities, just because I want to focus on pumping out as much damage as possible.
Now, you do have anticipation, which means...
I do, yeah. I was thinking about using it, but it's only 2 dice.
True. It is also for a number of turns equal to your perception.
Yeah, so I could, you know what? Yeah, why not? I'll use anticipation.
That basically makes your minimum. That makes your obstacle 2 by default, just to deal damage to you at all for the next whatever many turns.
Yeah. What is your character's notice?
My character's notice is 2.
Okay, so you take no damage from this for the next. And what's your character's perception?
2.
All right, so you take no damage from this, and for the next round, you'll also take 2 less of whatever comes at you.
Let me tax my melee for that. So just to narrate what happens, this torturer, shoots a shower of knives, and Rora just like easily dodges out of the way. She looks like she's barely moved, but she's just very nonchalant, just tips her head to the side, and there's 2 daggers stuck into the wall where her head was.
Anticipation.
All right, and we're going to be doing some leadership roles as well to get some bonus dice there. What was the name of the leader of the NPC of the group again? I can't remember what the name of that.
Hatterack.
Hatterack. He's the sword and shield kind of guy.
Sure, if you want him to be.
Yes, he's going to move behind Chucky's character, and he's going to move towards the hostage, and he's melee, get in range of this guy. Others try to protect the hostage, and he's going to rally the troops.
All right, a coordinating thing. You can go ahead and roll your dice and give those as pips to everyone that's taking action this turn.
Oof.
Wow, that is really unfortunate, but does happen sometimes.
You called out for melee, and we all looked at each other. I'm like, I don't do melee. You don't do melee? Oh, no one does melee.
And I've used my melee turn looking cool, so
You even
looking
go so
cool
far
and
as
not
to make
taking
up some
damage.
military tactics terms that you just made up on the spot, but because you made them up, no one understands. One of the things you shout at involves people on the left flank literally jumping out the window. It's okay.
Oh.
What is what's his name? Cork? Is that
Korg.
Korg?
Yeah.
Korg is the other one.
What kind of weapon does he have?
Well, now I'm fumbling around from that speech, and I'm really confused. I have my dagger notched in my bow, and I don't know what to do, and so I put the bow down, and I have 2 daggers, which
Okay.
aren't really daggers. I guess they're like short swords.
All right.
To him, they're daggers.
I'll use my leadership then to tell with Cork to go attack the torturer guy with your daggers. All right.
Holy shit!
We're a melee powerhouse here.
What we're seeing here is a failure of leadership.
He picks up his bow again.
Now, the good news is that neither of their attempts to do this have applied any penalties to what anybody else wants to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try and bonus Jackie's attack.
Okay. What are you doing?
Daska's just going to step into the doorway, look at the scene, look at all the people that are facing off against each other, then look down at his hand, shrug, and then I'm going to throw the bottle that I have in my hand directly at the guy, and I'm going to say, "Careful, incoming." The goal isn't to do any damage. This thing won't do any damage. The goal is just to get him to flinch or distract.
Nice.
How's your throwing skill, bro?
I got a throwing of 1.
Nice.
My agility is also 1, so
Really, like 2 big ones.
Any
Let's see it.
successes you get will bonus Jackie's roll with bonus dice.
Please, for the love of God, roll a success.
But I'm going to roll an extra die for my crime because I'm advantaged because I'm still lying.
Yeah, that's how it's like
3 big ones. Oh,
Ooh.
thank God.
Sudden competence.
There you
Sudden
go. Very
burst
nice.
of competence. Cool.
Do you want to act now, Jackie, or do you want to wait for Troy's beefy guy to try and... I'm not sure what he's doing right now with his daggers and bows, but whatever it is.
I have a question. Does my anticipation talent count as my combat thing, or do I
No.
still have a pending action?
Yeah, you still have a pending action.
Okay.
And you're still operating. You used anticipation this round, right?
Yeah.
So you still have 5 melee at this point.
Oh, okay. So I don't tax until the end.
I mean, the comics.
Yeah.
No, I was saying DNA is so strong that it like overrides most of the.
In that case, I'd like to do my attack roll.
Okay. You got 2 bonus dice. And what weapon are you using? Is it special in any way, or is it just a normal weapon?
It's just a normal weapon at this point.
2 pips from the weapon.
Huh?
If it's a normal weapon,
2?
it gives you 2
2
pips.
pips?
Yeah, because it is a combat weapon meant for killing people, right?
Yes. No, I brought my non-lethal sword today.
I mean, sometimes somebody picks up a chair and tries to kill somebody with it, and they get fewer pips from using a chair than they would from using a sword. So, yeah. That's
Makes sense. Yeah, it's an
Even if it's a
improvised weapon,
really
that makes
high
sense.
quality chair, they're just not meant for that. Okay, I'm having to scroll up past all the failures here to see. Okay, so the original defensive roll was 5, and you've got 6 successes. So you've gone through and actually damaged. So 4 more successes are needed. But guess who's up?
I have an important question, though.
Sure.
Jackie, has Roar taken the battle axe off of Avatar?
No.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
She's the muscle, not a babysitter.
All right.
Troy, you still have an action you can take. The beefiest of the people that hired you has charged in, and that leaves a nice kind of shadow being cast that you can use to get past all the flying blades if you wanted to sneak up and make an attack. You roll
What did
5
you attack
dice. What's that?
What did Jackie attack with a sword?
Yeah, just like I meant, just a standard. I haven't decided it. Standard melee weapon.
Gotcha. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not saying there's a detriment, but I have leadership from 2 different things that didn't offer me anything. It just left me confused, and also I was anxious about this whole thing anyway. And so yeah, I just have both swords in the air, just kind of flailing, not using them to slash, and I'm just running at him and roaring, and I'm just gonna tackle him like with me.
Okay.
And I can roll less dice for that, but I know he has you said physical 5, but
Physical 5, yeah. This is a miner who only just learned how to pick up a sword yesterday, but he's been swinging things with his big, strong hands his entire life.
Got this, Korg.
All right. 2 more successes. Go ahead and narrate what you do.
exactly what is posted there. He runs at him flailing, roaring, and like while he's swinging, a couple of the flails happen to just kind of nick the guy, but he ends up just falling like past him because he was shouting and roaring the entire way. But he did manage to cut him a couple times on the way over.
All right.
All right. I would like Tala to come like charging like through the door with the Balak just dragging behind her because she can't lift it, like over her head, letting what is in her mind like some deep Viking war cry, but actually sounds more like a mouse squeaking. Yeah. And just like try and leap and sweep and hit the dude with it.
Hey,
Can you
have-
even get off? Can you even get off the ground? Like,
That's what we're here to find out. So this would be like bigger plus melee. That is 1 dice.
You got this.
It's a 1. Basically, she just doesn't get off the ground, tumbles into a heap on the floor at like Rorok's feet.
the axe just barely lifts off the ground just enough that the cutting edge starts to cut into the floorboards and then gets wedged there and you're stuck.
this is going so good.
Alrighty, so we're
I'm
going to
glad you
start a
brought
fresh
me.
round. Did anyone not get a chance to go?
I think everyone went because I
Awesome.
feel so. Tice did a leadership role. Chris did leadership role. I did an attack role. Ed did his bottle shenanigans. Evatala did her axe thing. Troy did his weird tackle thing. I think that's everyone, right?
So, Kristen, who would this person consider to be the greatest threat to them right now?
At this point, I suppose Rorik.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do another one of those 5 dice attack rolls against Rorik, and then we're going to do the defensive roll. This is a situation where the person probably, while they're doing well, right, the enemy hasn't done a lot, there are a lot of enemies, and it might be a situation where they're considering retreating. And so backing up with their prisoner to like a window or something and maybe throwing down a smoke grenade would be their defensive move. What kind of an attack would they throw out while doing that?
Like you're literally. That's exactly what I was thinking. Because I was like, there's no way this person's going to take on all of these people. So I was like, his only option here is like try and take the prisoner as like a hostage and GTFO out the window. So yeah. Sorry, I don't remember what question you had.
So
But
the first thing is what kind of an attack? And the options here are wide-ranging. This doesn't necessarily have to be a physical attack. This could be a psychological attack, such as threatening to kill the prisoner.
okay, cool. Then that's exactly what I was hoping to do. So basically, the prisoner right now has their like hands tied behind their back. So he like grabs the prisoner, gets the prisoner up on their 2 feet. They're not standing too well because they've just been tortured for a while, but you know, they get up and he puts one of his sharp blades to the prisoner's throat and just starts yelling like, I am going to kill this person if you don't back away right now. And then they start like backing up towards the window.
Now, this presents a choice to each of the characters. Everybody can either choose to not act and everything's fine, or you can take a 2-point condition to your composure.
If I have resistance to mental domination, am I going to be stronger against this or no?
This is not actually mental domination. There's nothing magical or psychic going on here. What this is a person who's threatening to do something you don't want them to do unless you behave. This is actual
just normal manipulation.
Threat, yeah. But you anticipated this, so you've already made up your mind as what you're going to do, and your anticipation negates the effect for you. For everybody else, they have to make a choice. They can either do nothing, or they can take a 2-point composure hit and act at however they feel. We'll handle each one when we come to them. Do you want to hold your action until you get some support dice and see what your team is going to do before you stab this person?
Yeah, I'll hold.
Okay. Kristen, roll the 8 dice to see how well this person is able to defend themselves with the body of the prisoner. Very poorly, it turns out. The prisoner is not cooperating.
Attaboy.
Barnabas wants to live.
So the buddy, he with his sword shield, he puts his sword to the side, and he said, "He's like, you don't need to do this, but you need to get that guy." And he's gonna point towards the other guys, and when he's doing that, he's gonna like throw his shield, and it's going to he's not like the guys. It's gonna like miss the guy, but like he's trying to coordinate with the other person, with like Jackie's character, to so that when the guy, it bounces off the wall and it rolls and it slowly slides behind the torturer guy. So when Jackie goes to take her attack, when he backs up, he's going to back up on the shield to give their character an advantage.
Okay, that sounds good. Take your, well, you don't really have a character sheet, but I'll note that you've taken some composure damage, and go ahead and roll to get that shield in position. All right, Jackie, you've got 2 bonus dice for your attack.
Anybody else with leadership skills want to contribute to this before I take my decisive action?
My character's just going to shrug and say, kill him, man.
I hope that you could roll for that to confuse him, but you know.
No, I don't know. I was going to kill him then. Then we'll just kill you after.
I mean, that is going to definitely disrupt this guy's ability to defend himself with a hostage if he doesn't reliably believe the hostage is actually protecting him from anything. So yeah, I would say that's a good psychological attack.
Does he roll for that, like persuasion?
Yeah, he can roll. He can roll to give you
cunning?
bonus dice. Absolutely, that's some solid helper action right there. I would say that's probably empathy. Right? And then what?
It's like, you don't want to die, do you, bro?
Persuasion, empathy, and then
yeah, that sounds good.
I'm lying. I'm calm and collected, and I'm an opportunist. So all the advantages right now.
Perfect.
No, Susan's like, no.
There you go. So you've got 4 helper dice total now.
And I will add on as well.
Yes, feed me.
That if you just let him go, you're free to go.
Everyone, give me your energy. Okay, 5 helper dice for me. I would like to take my action unless somebody else wants to contribute.
I think it's safe to assume that if I did something, I wouldn't have enough composure to do it. So
Yeah, I think you would do it, and then you'd be passed out the next round.
Avatar is just confused and screaming, like, a warrior cry, but also, like, doesn't know what to do anymore.
All right, I'll take my roll then.
And that is sufficient. Actually, that's 1 more than you needed. You overcame the 1 defense that the uncooperative captive was presenting, and then did 3 of the 2 remaining success points. So, what is the fate of this gentleman that you are attacking?
So he's got his little knife against Barnabas's neck, and after hearing some of the stuff that the other party members have said, Rorik just takes 2 good steps forward right into this guy's face and just just grabs his face with her open hand and just slams him into the ground, knocking him unconscious.
Merciful. Very well.
I mean, it's really meant to be a show of force because she can like pick him up and then just slam him into the ground with one hand. You can call it merciful, but it's
Hey, at this point, you don't need to like have this character survive this.
true.
That is entirely up to you.
I'll let the others decide.
I mean, to be fair, there's a decent chance that this character does not survive this afterwards.
Yeah. He fucked up at his job. Everyone fucked up at their job.
Was this one of the members of the team?
Kristen, was
No.
this?
Not one of the members of the heist, the original
Okay.
heist squad.
Yeah, this was the client that they screwed over, right?
Exactly.
It's up to you. Once you pick up the necromancer, you can always come back and like question the ghost.
I mean, I don't care either way whether he lives or dies. You can assume that the force with which I picked him up and threw him into the ground is very painful and damaging. I mean, he's unconscious. He could also be bleeding out from a head injury. So, I mean, like, it's the same difference to me.
All right, I just need a decision for the record if he's
Got
alive or dead.
I'm not going to kill him.
Okay, alive it is, I guess. Well, I guess, yeah. Jackie, you said you're not going to kill him. Is that right?
Sure, why not? I throw him so hard against the ground that he dies.
Okay. If any character here can do that, it's yours.
Yeah.
All right, you
Oh,
crush
is
his
it
skull
like the-
against
I mean,
the
he's
wall.
already taken damage from me, right? Like,
Yes. Cool.
so he just goes fucking night forever.
And everyone in the party gets a graphic demonstration of exactly who they've hired.
You just hear a nasty crunch when this guy hits the ground.
I go into the room and collect my vial, wipe the blood off of it, put it back in its stock.
Talus just tried to pry her battle axe out of the floor.
How's Barnabas looking?
As vicious as Rorik is, she goes over to Barnabas and very gently removes his restraints.
He spits out a little bit of blood. Well, you guys came in the nick of time. But who the hell are you?
I'm sure you have time for talking after this. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's.
Now we
I
have
mean-
to get out of here.
Yeah. Like, at this point, like Jax does not want to see Barnabas. It's not like you guys can go to the tavern or anything like that.
Yeah, we have to leave this
You
town.
gotta GTFO. Yeah, Barnabas will just be like, like, I've screwed over a lot of people around here, so I'm just gonna go grab my stuff, but then I gotta get out of this town.
Are you guys going to do anything about the crime scene, so to speak? The room where the torture was happening and eventually where you killed the guy?
I mean, I don't want to leave any of our shit around here. Well, Ed's character's picked up his vial. Somebody, you know what? I go over to Evatala, who's struggling with the axe, and easily pick it out of the floor and say, "Let's get out of here."
I guess I'll go over and pick up the body and I'll put him in the torturer's chair just to tie him up.
Okay.
Yes, actually, I will tax my criminal potential. What is it? My flashback power.
Ooh, all right.
All right, and so I will tax that, and I'm gonna trigger for our grocer Dasco. Acquired some personal paperwork from Jax's. Because this is Jade. He said Jade is the one torturing, right?
Actually, that was Jade's not here.
But Jade's group was torturing, right? And Jax is separate from that. That's what he told us in the thing, right?
Sorry, what? Who told us?
Jax told us that Jade has Barnabas, right?
Well, wasn't it Lily you talked to?
Well, no, we talked to Lily, and then Lily took us to Jax, and Jax is the one that told us that Jade, I think, if I have it right, Jade has Barnabas and is tortured and has him and is locked up, but Jax's name would get us the key to get in.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and these were Jade's goons. So
Good.
you actually
Perfect.
Jade.
Yeah. So, Dasco acquired some of the paperwork from some personal of Jax's paperwork from his desk when he was in there negotiating. And we're going to leave those crumpled up at the crime scene as if they fell out of his pocket. As far as they know, we asked, right? We told them that Jax sent us, right? Okay, so let's try to pin this all on Jax.
Chaos.
So, okay, you're having Dasco acquire paperwork that
From Jax's desk?
from Jax's desk to implicate
Personal,
victims.
personal stuff that leads back to Jax.
I'm so glad I started creating a timeline. This is much helpful.
That'll work out perfectly too, because like the innkeeper, you guys told them that Jack sent you.
Told the guard Jax sent us.
Jack's done goofed.
It's because he was too petty.
You got that sweet, what was it, like bronze necklace?
Copper.
Copper necklace?
Not even bronze, bro.
Let's get out of here.
That is a great use of the flashback.
Yep.
Okay, once Barnabas gets his stuff and you guys are on the road heading back to the mercenary camp, do you guys want to have a conversation once you get some distance from the two mercenaries?
Yeah.
Recruiting time.
So, Barnabas, it was correct?
Yep, that's the name.
Right. Well, you see, we did risk you, but it wasn't out of the goodness of our own hearts, necessarily. We are on to a sizable score, and we're going to need your help to achieve that score. As far as we're aware, there's none better than you. So, there's a lot of money in it. Considering we saved your life and are also willing to pay you a 7-way split of hopefully the entire Mighty Collective's cash reserves. Would you care to join us?
Well, I don't have much else here, so I guess so, you know? And that does sound pretty sweet. I do love myself a good payday.
All right, welcome aboard. I presume that means we've recruited our Smith, who probably needs a few days to recover.
Yep.
Yeah, he's doesn't look too good right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you should probably have a lot of tax on that character right now.
Yeah, totally.
When you guys do get back to the road, you have an opportunity to make camp. This is not an inn, this is just a camp, but at this position, you can begin transferring tax from your stats that are taxed into your stamina. And then when you get to a good spot to get a good rest, you can start replenishing that stamina. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand how that works?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I do have one question because I have quick, which lets me react to unexpected situations, and I gain 2d to distribute among resist, avoid, notice. Can I switch up the 2 tax to composure to resist, avoid, and notice if I wanted to, or no?
Oh, yeah. That is.
I mean,
I don't know why I would want to. I'm just curious if I could.
I mean, quick happens. Quick is a fixed bonus. So you basically your resist, avoid, or notice goes up by 2 at character creation, and it just stays there forever.
Oh, is that a character creation? Okay.
Yeah, I have stuff like that. I just haven't like marked it because the math is weird.
Yeah, so you can either get a +1 to your. I mean, you can get a +2 to your resist, or a +1 to your resist, or +1 to your notice, or whatever. That's just a character creation thing.
Yeah, you just you
Okay,
go
never
into
mind
your
that.
resist and just to change the formula to have +1 next to it. That's all, or
Cool.
+2 or whatever the bonus is. Yeah.
For getting tortured, would I probably tax my health or my composure?
I
mean, you have time to rest now. Just tax your stamina.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much tax should she take?
That's a great question. Kristen, how badly tortured was Barnabas?
I'll say it was pretty bad. I've got like 10 stamina, so I was thinking of adding 5 tax to that.
Okay. What's Wow, 10 stamina. Okay, yeah. So basically, before that went to stamina, back when it was part of health and composure, he was about halfway to dead, right?
Yeah, 5 out of 8. His health is 8.
So he was down to like 3 HP, which is not good.
Not good, no. Especially for someone whose expertise is in social manipulation rather than physical confrontation.
I don't have that much health, but I guess I need to choose vigor, agility. That's what I need to do. I need to change it because I have sturdy, so I need to add that to my health.
Yeah, that's how my health is so high. I have sturdy as well.
And I know Echelon's character is the most evil is because he watered down Ashta.
Well, look at that. The party has grown to 5. 2 more to go.
Well, presumably we're going for the baker now.
Mm-hmm.
And especially since the druid is possibly on the moon. You're going for the gnome chromancer.
Okay, so back on the road, the mercenaries meet back up with their group, and everybody begins heading north again. A couple days pass, and traveling with the mercenaries has been reasonably pleasant, but there's something coming from the north along the road. The road, as I've repeated, is perfectly straight, so it's easy to see that there's something coming. And it looks like a military formation. When it gets close, you see that it is an interesting group of soldiers, not a seriously large group, but more like a small squad of guerrilla warfare specialists. But they're in formation, and the leading group of 10 are all gnolls. There are gnolls decked out in armor. It looks like it's a half plate, but they are all carrying shields that have an amber symbol of another shield on them, which makes the shield look like redundant shapes going inward. And
it's like a mandala.
Yeah. And they are in a strict block formation in front of a somewhat more motley crew of pretty much every species that you know to be sentient. There's a couple goblins, there's a gnoll in amongst them, there's a couple orcs and a trio of humans, there's a gnome, there's a dwarf, and they're all marching carrying rifles. These rifles look unusual. They're particularly ornate. Every single one of them looks unique, and they all have glowing red runes on them that are shining even in the dim light.
So these are not mage registry rifles.
They are not. Also, the rifle group, while the lead group has the shield on their shield, this rifle group all have badges on their chest of a book. I think, was it a book and spectacles or a book and a candle? I don't remember.
So the symbol, about Sigur's sigil or something?
Sigur's sigil, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what the sigil was.
Make it up right now, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if that was ever defined, but I mean,
She's a librarian, so we assume the
books.
It would be cool if it was like a book and some kind of dragon symbol because she has shimmer, right?
What about the spectacles? Isn't there something?
I think the spectacles were a big part of it. Yeah.
I don't recall.
The book and spectacle sounds right to me. Whatever it was, they have that patch on them. Also, there's lots of other little symbols once you get up close and get to look at them. Many of the gnolls have little symbols of an owl on them, but not all of them do. So it's not uniform. But the leader of this group is a gnoll, and this gnoll does wear a very proud owl symbol on the shoulder pads. And she is getting ready to take her group down to make camp, and in an area very close to where you guys are. The mercenaries suggest that they make camp together because they want to talk to these clearly more professional soldiers and learn about what's going on.
Sure.
All right. So everybody sits down and has a little chat. It's not hard to overhear as the mercenaries are prying these guys for information. They've been sent south with concerns that there might be groups of Apthians slipping through in the Celebran forests, and they've apparently been given orders to go down and assist Celebre, even while Celebre is themselves sending troops north to assist them. Sort of like a troop exchange. These guys are tactically optimized for combat in forests. They're not wearing the full plate that a lot of the gnoll soldiers like to wear. For those who don't know, gnolls are gigantic 8-foot-tall dog people. They have been considered monsters throughout much of the world's history, but events of the past few decades have really changed that.
This is a very woke group of role-playing characters, and we use diplomacy for anything that we can. And so we have goblins and gnolls, part of the good guys now, because diplomacy.
I mean, gnolls aren't always part of the guys, but there are groups of gnolls that are.
Yeah, and because not all gnolls are known to be friendly.
Hashtag not all gnolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of gnolls are choosing to wear the white owl as a symbol of indicating friendship with other species, since within their mythology there was supposedly an owl spirit present when the first tribe that made the transition switched from hunting humans to working alongside them. So it's become a sort of cultural symbol of, I'm an okay gnoll to talk to, I will not bite you. But as I said, not all of the gnolls are wearing that symbol.
It's like an ally.
Yeah, it's like a little ally pin.
An ally.
Get out.
No. You love it.
Excellent.
You're welcome, Tice.
Yeah, so this group is here. You can converse with them, but that seems like that's their basic thing. They are talking to these would-be mercenaries. Yeah, they don't have a lot of really good professional advice to give people that are this inexperienced in combat, but these are real professionals.
They're like, get good.
Yeah.
Is their advice.
And part of it is like your gear is insufficient. Like they ask about the rifles, and it's like each of these rifles was handmade by a smith named Sintigo in Garathan, specifically for each person. They're very proud of their weapons. Supposedly, like some of their blood was used in the forging of each weapon, so that they're extremely personal, private weapons. And yeah, they're trained to operate as a team, with some of them even having like little stirrups on the backs of some of the gnolls so they can jump up, get into position really quickly, take a shot, and then be gone before anybody can deal with the aftermath. These are guerrilla snipers, and they're ready for their task. They are also really enjoying being on a dwarven road because this is super luxurious compared to what they're going to be dealing with in the following months and maybe even years of the conflict, depending on how long it goes. Looking at the map, Remy, you see that there is a castle nearby, something you might be able to get to tomorrow. And while there isn't anybody of particular note that you want to hire there, there's a good chance there's people there who used to work with the druid you were thinking of recruiting. It might be a good spot to go to just to start getting some information about the druid.
All right. We might want to take a day trip, everyone, to this castle. Get some information about the druid before finding our necromancer butler person.
I mean, I'm always down for a trip to a castle.
Gets us closer to collecting on that bounty, then I'm in.
Might also help us recover a little more too. Might be a better place to spend a night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It'll be about a 1-day detour off the main road, and then another day back. So you'll lose about 2 days to take that trip, and yeah, and you'll get whatever info you get.
It's a good thing. For us, it's like 2 seconds, and for them, it's 2 days.
Well, yeah.
Unless
On
we
the other
have
hand,
encounters, you know.
Imagine playing a real-time role-playing game.
and I know that Chris is looking or has the timeline available to look at. There is an expectation that the shipment that you guys are going to try to rob will be arriving in Celebre on day 19. It's about approximately 9 days from now. You guys have been making lots of little side trips, which has been eating into your time, but you've been recruiting a team while you do it. Two more team members need to be recruited, and then you need to get through the Moon Gate in Thordil.
That would give us... I imagine we could spare the time for this trip.
I mean, yeah, we need to find out where this druid is hiding,
Yeah.
and I imagine the druid will be able to help us get through the Moon Gate.
Presumably.
So you know that at least one member of the Druid's old crew is currently acting as a jester in this castle, probably running a scam of some sort. You're not sure what. Did you want to do anything currently with the group of Knoll soldiers, or the snipers, or the mercenaries before heading on this detour? If you do not, it is unlikely they will be still here when you get back. They have places to go. Always, you've got your rewind powers, of course, but, you know, just, I gotta check before you take off. Unless you guys are muted, that sounds like a no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not.
Okay, cool.
I'll just have friendly conversations with them.
Right on. So on day 11, you guys reach the castle. Troy, what kind of a castle is this exactly?
So like mid-range, if I can say that. So it doesn't look like it's not a castle, but it doesn't look so extravagant that you're like, this is the best castle I've seen, or this is a really nice castle. You just look and you know that like it's well set up, and there's definitely a place near a town that like it's the building next to a town that just looks much better than the town.
Well, to be fair, castles are military structures. They're just forts. They're nice forts.
True.
And here in the Middle Kingdoms, often the castles are the construction of a retired hero that wants to have their fort that looks impressive and is really awesome. And then the town grows around their retirement home, which is essentially what the castles really are. Yeah, there are also occasional conflicts here in the Middle Kingdoms, and so an actual functional fort is not impossible. But yeah, so it doesn't look like whoever built this was not in the John Hammond spare no expense mode when they built it. Much more practical looking, is that right?
Yeah.
Does the castle have a town surrounding it yet, or is this more like a new money castle where they've just moved in and there hasn't been a lot of peasantry and craftsmanship gathering around to feed off of the money base of the hero?
It's a small town.
Okay, so there has been some growth and development then, but not a lot. That's fair. Is the castle guarded, or does the party able to just walk right in?
There are sets of guards. It's not like like the watchtowers are filled kind of thing. It's there are guards at the gates and guards at the doors.
Right on. Current objective, I believe, for the party is to speak with the jester. So how do you guys want to try to accomplish that?
Do we know who owns this castle?
Troy, who owns the castle?
Look at a random name here. Right, so I guess we're going off the king or lord or whatever. His name is Teb.
Whatever Ted wants to call himself, really. Emperor Ted. It's all good. The Lord High Ted of Tedland.
Well, as I usually do when I go to places of high class, I will throw my name around and see how far it gets me.
So as Evatala sort of tosses her name around, Troy, are the people here of a high enough standing that they would have heard of some of the great families of Celebre? Does Teb in particular care about that sort of thing? Is Teb a social climber?
Teb is a wealth climber. So I don't know if that means social climber.
Well, The Talus family is certainly wealthy, and it's known that when the Hellfards are interested in business, business gets done. So I would imagine that would be at least intriguing enough to hear an audience.
Potentially, yeah. If Teb is literally just looking to make wealth, dealing with a Celebran noble house is not always a great way to turn a profit, because the reason they're in charge in Celebre is because they're really good at taking money from other people. Through trade, of course, obviously. But yeah, generally they end up at the better end of the bargains they make. On the other hand, doing business with them often gets you introduced to other people that get you introduced to other people that can lead to profitable ventures. So that social climbing it's not just about having a famous name. It can be about access to things. Just depends on what Teb's into. You know what? I think this really just calls for a connections check. Evatala, go ahead and roll your connections, and let's just see how far you're able to push it.
One success.
Okay. It's moderate. People here have heard of you. Probably.
I'm basically just going around trying to secure an audience with the Lord or whatever here, Lord Teb, and on the pretense of business while I'm in the area.
Is Lord Ted tempted by a business offer from somebody that does have a success in connections checks? Or is the party going to be sneaking around the back of the castle and trying to find the privy door at the back?
But I'm trying to decide if one's enough to beat the fact that they're suspicious right now of people trying to do deals. He has a pretty good control over the last thing that just happened, so I'll say this is something external to what they were. None of it was from Celebre, so it'll warrant an audience.
Alrighty. So the party ends up getting an audience with Teb. It's unlikely that Teb actually knows anything useful for you guys. It's really his gesture that's got the useful info, but here you are speaking with Teb.
Basically, I'm going to just try and engineer some feast that gets the jester out. But, oh, there. I haven't had the pleasure before, but I'm out of it. I have a name. I will say it for you in a moment. I'm Evatala Hellfire. I've been sent here. I've been on a journey through Mill Kingdoms trying to set up new trade for my family business. And I saw your castle here. It seemed pleasant. I have vaguely heard of you, Tab, and of your grand accomplishments. And I would like to be able to spend night and hopefully engineer a working business partnership in the future.
I guess it's me.
Yes, it is.
This is weird.
Teb is not really a challenge for them, so it's okay for you to just kind of let them breeze through this. The real challenge is going to be talking to the jester. If you want to put some obstacle in their way, you could make them roll to persuade or something, but yeah, you don't really need to push hard against what they're doing right now.
Yeah, I'll. My response is just well met. Always looking to meet new business opportunists, and we can have more formal talks about this, and it'll be over dinner and blah blah blah.
Sounds wonderful. I've had a long journey, Viva Associates. Alright. And basically, at this like dinner feast, since there is a court jester, I would assume that the jester comes out at some point.
Yeah, the jester would basically be, in generally speaking, like historically speaking, like they're there for entertainment because there is no fucking music or TV or anything unless it's there's no entertainment unless it's performed by an actual human being for you.
Right, and he'll bring that up that you mentioned the tales of you heard tell of my accomplishments, and we've arranged for some of those to be acted out, and he'll summon the jester.
Fun fact: really rich people back in the ye olden times would have like a bard or somebody like literally like play music for them so that they could fall asleep.
When they would call for Siri, somebody named Siri was there.
Yeah.
How far we have not come. Avatala, for the record, has never heard of this guy.
Oh, you're about to. And he summons the jester out, and this is by no way. This is pure entertainment, I think, for the king. The jester has to basically play all the parts and change dress multiple times to play the different characters of like his great battle or whatever, and he has to run behind a sheet, change into the like person he's fighting repeatedly throughout the performance of how he took down this great like captain of a guard squad or whatever.
This guy's so small potatoes, it's not even funny.
Oh, he thinks he's the top, but he's not.
This is like the guy that peaked in high school.
Oh yeah, so much. That he would find this entertaining tells you that.
Avatala is trying desperately to pretend this is the greatest thing she's ever seen.
Oh yes, the king is looking around to see that other people are amused. And also that the jester is doing
the jester's performing, so is the audience. Well, I guess as this would come to a conclusion, I would just stand up and go, like, clapping. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I have no idea how your jesters managed to keep that all together in a cohesive storyline. And stay so intriguing. May I speak with him? I would love to learn some of his tricks of the trade.
How he's able to keep a cohesive story, it's because it actually happened. Everything he did was real.
Really? You really defeated a guard patrol once?
Oh my god.
Do you doubt this? Do you look upon me and doubt this?
No, I'm just impressed beyond belief. I always enjoy meeting adventurers who can regale me with such wondrous tales in their retirement.
Rourke coughs into her cup, trying not to laugh.
At this point, I imagine everybody in the room is in on the joke but the king.
Given that one of Rourke's greatest achievements has been smuggling through enemy lines for like 3 months underground, this is hilariously small potatoes to her.
Rourke is wearing a demon's tail for a belt.
Yeah.
Nothing this man has ever accomplished in his life compares to what you had to do to get that.
Right. Yeah. Well, I assume I can have an audience with just the jester at some point.
You can do some sort of like, oh, please allow me to be entertained by your incredible blah, blah, blah.
If you will, I would love to learn. I unfortunately happen to have been in the market for a new jester, but I would never dream of hiring you a jester. I would love to learn about how he does that so that when I go on the hiring campaign, I guess? Yeah, let's go with that. I could hire someone like him. It's absolutely spectacular.
Oh, I can promise you I would not be selling the services of this jester to anyone else, right?
I would never dream of that.
But no, I do not tire of hearing my tales, but it would be interesting for him to have other performances to act out once in a while. I suppose it would be fine for you to have words with him.
Brilliant. And then, like, we'll just usher him away and, like, on a walk or something.
I feel like this would be a great time for like Dasco to like take the king aside and just like spin some bullshit into his ear while like we handle the jester.
Brilliant.
I mean, I've been trying to figure out how exactly I want to try and scam this guy because he obviously has some cash. Does anybody have anything conspicuous but not valuable? You have a battle axe, right?
We do now.
Yeah, we have.
Okay, I'm going to keep my distance from these guys as much as possible, so as not to look like I'm part of this group. But look like I'm waiting for the king, just in case.
You're just a traveling battle axe salesman, that's all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell him how masculine he is. He'll love it.
I'm picturing like one of those vacuum cleaner salespeople, but it's a battle axe. I'm like, would you mind if I came into your home and gave you a demonstration of this amazing product?
Bro, I could do that. I did that for a little while. I could do that.
Whenever the conversation dies down, I'm going to try and get the attention of the the king or whatever, and just the owner of the castle, and see if I can draw him aside, and ask him a couple questions. I'm a traveling merchant, of course. I'm here to trade.
This would be a good time for the king to, be distracted by that. Go ahead.
You're good. Yeah.
You go ahead. We'll just usher the jester aside into a corner.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, once I get the attention of the king or one of his guards or something like that, I'm just going to say, excuse me, do you know that person over there? And point over at Ra. I saw you. I'm sorry. I very forward of me. I'm a traveling tradesman, come out of Celebre, and I'm traveling the world looking for things to trade, people to trade with. We have many goods. I don't have them on me, of course, but I can get a contract. with the great trading houses of Sleebre. I pull out a little mark that marks me as a member of the mining cooperative. Put that back into my shirt, and say, I was just wondering. I'd overheard you speaking with that one over there, and I was just interested in. Do you have a relationship with them, or is this or are they new?
You're talking to the king at this point, right?
Yeah, sure.
This is the first I'm meeting them.
I see. Well, that's extremely unfortunate. Then thank you for your time. If there's anything I can do for you, just let me know. And if you might get me an audience with them, that would be really swell.
You want an audience with them?
I kind of lean in really close and say, "This is just between you and me, okay? But that battle axe that she's carrying, that thing's worth a king's ransom. King's ransom."
It looks an ordinary battle axe. I see nothing special about it.
Yeah, of course.
Held plenty in my time.
Of course. I don't mean to insult your intelligence here. That battle axe was held by the great dwarven hero Grumbard, who slew the dragon in the north of Celebre during the recent wars. We thought it was lost. I don't know where she got it. It's like, just keep this between us. As far as I know, no one here except the two of us knows the true value of that thing. I mean, it's pretty valuable.
Oh, that's going to go so well next time he talks to the party. While you're running the scan, the party is having a conversation with the jester. And you should roll. You should just put some dice on the table to see if when the party meets up with the king, if they're getting any bonuses to trying to sell that battle axe. It would not be a terrible idea for you guys to have some loose change in your pockets coming into Thoradil.
Am I making a resources check, or what am I making?
No, you're lying to the king.
Can I use trade?
You can use trade if you want. Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh yeah. So if the party decides to get into negotiations over the axe, they will have 3 bonus die to that negotiation from your shenanigans. And if their conversation with the jester goes on for long enough, you might even be able to try to convince the king to let you negotiate on his behalf. Who knows? For a cut, of course.
I mean, I'm going to convince them that I'm willing to give them a mining cooperative writ of value to if he acquires it. I'm going to offer him a mining cooperative writ of value to take it for myself.
How recently was that mining cooperative writ forged?
Oh, I don't have a mining cooperative writ of value. I'm just banking on the fact that he doesn't know what one looks like. So that's my.
Because the mining cooperative is on the outs, and there's been enough time for word of that to spread, as you guys have not been walking a straight path. So the rumors of the mining cooperative's troubles are probably a few days ahead of you on the road.
Okay, that's fine. I want to get into a bidding war with him on it. That's my goal.
Ah, gotcha. I like that plan. All right. Meanwhile, with the jester.
He's out of breath constantly.
That was an amazing performance. We were hoping you could regale us with another one of your another story.
Rourke has a small frown on her face. She gets behind the jester, pats him on the back until he turns around, and just silently hands him like a cup of wine. She feels sorry for this poor bastard.
We were hoping you could tell us the story of the druid that went hiding.
Trying
So,
to think of how this character actually knows about him.
It's possible this character doesn't know much because Duftal was even disguised against his own group. From your description in here, he was disguised as a mage, but the group did also have a mage. They had a sonomancer who would have had enough, at least enough scholarly knowledge to know that this guy was not using wizardly magic. See. If
Yeah, so that's
the jester doesn't know enough about him, the jester would at least know that Jorher Underfall would be a better person to talk to. But you can make them roll for it if you don't want to give up the information freely. That's fine.
He's happy to give up info. He
He takes the wine from Rourke. She's trying so hard to be nice.
he says thank you and takes the drink and uses it to actually calm down for a second. He says, Druid, I'm not familiar with. I used to work with a couple mages. Mage-like folk, but no, I'm not familiar with the druid.
Hmm.
Do you know? Is anything about who you're looking for? Sorry, I've been
Duftal
so busy here.
Monas?
I have to do so many of those shows every day.
We're looking for, I guess, a mage named Duftal.
Oh, Duftal. Yeah, I know him. I never heard him called a druid. Not sure I know what a druid is. I'm not sure I've ever met a druid. Rather, he probably knows what a druid is.
well, we are looking for Duftal. Would you be able to let us know roughly where he would have gone after some things you all were up to with Belly Up?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not obvious that I don't want to do the shows I'm doing. But Duftal is one of the ones that got out of here. I'm not really sure where he went. The only other one to get out was Jorher. The rest of us are here.
Where can we find Jorher?
I can only assume from how it all went down, it was a little hectic that day. But from how everything happened, he would have been headed back toward Thornhill. That are somewhere along the way.
Do you have a way to
He
get
was
in
he was
contact with
the
him?
he's a dwarf. If that helps. In case you didn't know, you seem
It
to know
doesn't.
who I am. So
No.
Oh yeah, a dwarf in Thoradil. So easy. That narrows it down a lot.
Did you yell this at him?
Roar grumbled it probably.
He's a sonomancer, though, so that does narrow down a little bit. But yeah.
Do you have a way of communicating with them, getting a hold of them?
Yeah, we all had these. They aren't working now. I guess you got to be close enough. But he gave us these flutes. I'm assuming he'd respond to it if you get close enough.
We are looking for you. Send tweet.
That would work, right? As a sonomancer?
Sonomancers, I mean, there's no reason why they wouldn't have a variation of the spell Whisper that they would build into an artifact. There's, yeah, pretty much whatever you want.
That's the idea. He's headed back that way. If you can play this thing loud enough, essentially, for it to connect to him, it should be able to reach him. We've tried playing them ourselves, and they don't work anymore, or he's not listening.
Well,
hopefully, for your sake, it's not the not listening part.
Yeah. I appreciate your help. I'm deeply sorry that I made you have to regale those tales, but I'm sure you will come out of it with something that you want for it.
I mean, a punishment's a punishment.
Yeah, but you're being punished by an idiot.
It's the idiot that caught us, so.
Thanks for the flute.
Yeah, appreciate it. And then I'm fine, I think, spending the night here and hanging out in the morning. But we also need to sell this battle axe now.
I mean, does us leaving now get us anywhere significantly faster than spend the night? Like, we're already a day out, right? Doesn't really save us that much time. Just leave.
Sorry, was that a question for me?
Yeah.
What's the question again? Sorry.
Like, is there any real advantage to us for just like leaving right now in terms of time? Like, it doesn't really save us that much time just to turn around and leave, right? Might as well spend the night.
Yeah. So if you leave right now, then yeah, you can just be back on the main road pretty quickly. If you spend the night, then you'll be resting at an inn and recover 4 tax.
Let's do that simply
It's
because
good, yeah.
Barnabas in particular needs to.
Barnabas needs a night.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we're selling a battle axe.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stay somewhere else away from the group. And whenever I'm interacting with the group, I'm going to make sure that it looks like I'm attempting to get an audience and negotiating over the axe.
I'm presuming at some point you let us know that you will.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I assume you guys are smart guys. And if somebody offers you an obscene amount of money for a battle axe that you picked up off the ground, you'll just go ahead and take it. I'm otherwise just acting weird. I do let you know that the king might be interested in your axe.
All right. Well,
Troy, what is this king's primary defense against tricksters? Just psychologically, like what does this king have that might prevent him from being tricked by this? Good business sense, strong will, attention to detail, or is this basically a combat brute that made his money by smacking monsters around and getting villagers to pay him?
I think he's pretty much a combat brute. The reason the con went bad for them was not him finding it out. It was kind of like it fell into his lap. He's gonna be really intrigued about that battle axe, and think it's a great find.
I'm gonna collect some petty cash from people, and then I'm gonna go find some random people on the street that look relatively well-to-do to come in and help me bid on the axe. Preferably dwarves. I'll buy them some drinks and just be like, hey man, could you come in and like make an offer on a battle axe? You don't have to actually buy, just make an offer.
We have a dwarven con artist with us.
Barnabas, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Barnabas gonna need your assistance here.
Barnabas is
Distance
in.
yourself from the group. We're doing a. I mean, this guy's got money, so we should just take some of it in case we need it. You know.
Barnabas, have you read up on your flashback power?
I need to do that right now.
There's two ways of activating it. I think option one was probably the one that the Dasco most wants you to do right now. But you could totally do option two as well if you want. They're both valid here.
Yeah, I'm reading through it right now. Oh, cool. Yeah, totally. So basically, I can just be some other NPC has been there all along and is there to bid on the axe.
Yes. So you can either flashback and narrate how you've been building this new persona and spreading rumors about it, so when you enter the room, everyone believes that you're this new persona you've invented. Or alternatively, you can pick somebody in the room and it turns out that was you all along.
Yeah, I think maybe instead I'll just build this persona of this like super wealthy collector who basically just collects like awesome artifacts for my own personal collection.
Cool. How are you going to spread rumors before entering the castle about this character?
I guess I'll kind of go to the various hot spots in town, I suppose. You know, like the tavern, anywhere else that seems like it has a lot of people, and just start kind of spreading rumors.
Okay. You're going to be spreading rumors by like performance, where you talk about the great deeds of this person, or is this more persuasion, where you sit down with people and try and convince them that this person's a shrewd business opportunity or something?
I guess persuasion. Mainly just going around and persuading people that I am who I'm trying to pretend I am.
Okay. Go ahead and make that roll, and that this roll will be bonus dice on anything you try to do as this character.
Nice. Yeah, if we got a couple days, I'll drum it up as well by just going around bars, getting completely pissed drunk, and then being like, "Don't worry, lads, I'll buy y'all a drink when I make my fortune."
Where's my roll?
Cool. So you've got 4 bonus dice that you can use during the course of your interactions as this character. For social roles, that is. Not combat roles, but yeah.
Awesome.
Ed, done ya?
What's this new character that your character is pretending to be? Is this a business dwarf
I need to-
or what's? Sorry.
Yeah, I need to come up with a name, but basically just some sort of like wealthy, independently wealthy. It's not sure where they get their wealth from, but they're a collector of things, art, artifact.
A wealthy art collector. That's awesome.
Maybe like family money, you know? What exactly would I tax in this case?
Your criminal, is it criminal potential?
Oh. Suppose I should have put points in that at some point. I didn't even notice that was there.
Didn't even know those homes were there. Do you have enough experience points to raise it? You should. You should have plenty of experience.
Totally, yeah. I'm just gonna make sure I have enough to cover the tax.
Okay, yeah. You only need the 1 tax for the version you're activating anyway.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, so I suppose I also am wearing some sort of costume or just some sort of getup so that I don't look like I just was tortured for the past, however many hours.
It's been a couple days since you were tortured. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, they stopped torturing you like 2.5, almost 3 days ago.
Probably a little tender, but on the mend.
Yeah, you haven't had a good night's sleep yet, so you've been on the road. But there'll be plenty of time for that at the end of this day. So, Dasco, you have your dwarven entrepreneur here, your dwarven art collector.
All right, and I'm just gonna be a loudmouthed idiot and wander around the bars where royals and the court hangs out, and just get drunk and talk about how I'm going to be really rich after I buy this battle axe from this woman who has absolutely no idea what it's worth, and then take that right back to Thoradil and sell it for a pretty penny.
All right, some interest has been garnered.
Maybe we can get the court involved in the bidding war.
Of course, most people in the bars are assuming that they don't have the scratch to challenge you on that, but there may be some ears that perked up.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to the bars where like the court hangs out, like the good bars, and I'm intentionally being like I've got a little bit of money, but I'm not rich, but I'm hanging out with rich people because I'm totally going to be rich really soon.
Gotcha.
I don't want to get us mugged for the axe. I want to start a bidding war.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Avatala is walking around with the giant. That, presumably, at least to the average passerby, looks like just her bodyguard or something.
Ed, can you give me a performance check on that to see how many people you gather from the court to try and counterbid?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Should change persuasion to performance, dude.
Yeah, seriously.
Persuasion is excellent for one-on-one conversations in which you say things clearly and you're trying to persuade, but you're ending up in front of large audiences quite a bit lately, aren't you?
Wait, is the stuff that Kristen rolled helper dice or just successes?
Those are helper dice for her.
Oh.
So they're not for the general party. Those are her private helper dice that she gets to use whenever she wants while socializing as this character. She can use them all at once. She can spread them out across multiple rolls. They're like a special set of effects triggered by her flashback power.
Gotcha.
All right, so there is somebody that became interested by your performance, and they show up for the bidding.
A fool and his money are soon parted.
Indeed. So how is this going down? You're going back in to talk to the king? Or are you just going to wait on the sidelines while the rest of the crew does their work? Ed?
Oh, sorry. What was the question?
Oh, are
Yeah.
you? Have you finished your setup, or are you still part of the scam, and are you going back in to make bids?
I mean, I'm going to go back in and bid.
Okay. So yeah, there is one person that's going back in as well.
And then I suppose I'm there as well.
Yeah. So it turns out that there's 3 parties now that want to bid on that axe.
Plus, presumably, the king.
Plus, we hope the king, indeed. The king does have
Yeah,
the advantage of having the money to outbid all of you. Especially since 2 of you are only pretending.
And the third most likely won't have enough money.
The third is a random NPC from a well-to-do bar. Might have money. Honestly, if that person wins the bid, it's no loss to you guys.
We're just trying to swindle something. We don't care who we swindle.
Actually, I have a plan. If I can get, I'll send a message in and see if I can get a discreet conversation with the king.
Okay. Troy, does the king receive the business person that tipped him off about the cool axe?
Yes, he's intrigued.
Okay, I come in looking pretty downtrodden and hungover. I say, okay, here's the deal. that I was hoping to buy that axe, but it seems like I ran my mouth a bit too much, and I shouldn't have told you about it, but I did. I did tell you about it, and I feel like maybe you're going to outbid me, and I mean you're a king, so of course you can outbid me. There's a couple other nobles that'll probably try and bid, but I mean you're the king, you know. But what I found out today is there's a dwarven art collector just came into town. I'm pretty sure I know what he's looking for. Now, he can outbid you, for sure. This is what he does. I know I don't have a chance in this game anymore, but I'd like to get a little bit out, you know, just for me, just to feed my family, go back to Celebrate feeling proud. So I'll tell you what, you cut me in, say, 5%, you know, and I'll keep him out of the bidding war. Now, I know this guy's going to pay, you know, say 10,000 gold pieces for this thing. So I just want to walk away. I don't want to walk away with nothing, you know. So you cut me in, say, 500 gold, 1,000 gold. I'll take him out of the bidding war, and then when you get the axe, if you don't want to take it to Thoradil, you can just trade it directly to him.
Did you follow all that?
I mean, he's not smart, but
He does probably think he's smart.
It's real simple. It's real simple. I'll give you the lowdown. The person that has this axe doesn't know it's worth anything. Assuming nobody else is going to bid on it, or don't even let it go to auction. Just go to the person, give them 1,000 gold, take the axe. Now, if you're not quick about it, this dwarven guy's going to outbid you for sure in open auctions. You just give him 1,000 gold, you get the axe. I'll keep the dwarven guy at bay, keep him occupied for the day, and then tomorrow you send your guys out, you get the dwarf, he'll come in here, he's going to give you 100,000 gold for that thing. All I want for my part, keeping him away from the mark, is just 50 gold. 50 gold, I'll keep the dwarf occupied for a while, throw him off the trail. Tomorrow, come straight to you, and then you can just pawn off that axe, make a tidy profit. I get a little bit from my trouble, as opposed to walking away with nothing. Makes me feel good. Makes you feel good because you're helping a guy out, you know. And the mark doesn't even know what it's worth. Can't fail. It can't fail. I can guarantee you the mark is completely unaware of what's going on here.
it does sound like an opportunity.
Look, worst case, the dwarf leaves or gets stabbed in an alley or something, or he doesn't want to play ball. No problem. Just take one of your men, send it to Thoradil, and make your profit then. Just have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's I don't mind the waiting. It's the you've got me. I see what you're saying on there's no need for an auction for this sort of thing. So let's get this written up, and I summon someone over to have him write up to basically a summons for the
Who is currently carrying
whoever
it?
has the axe to bring it to the castle. But basically not to bring axe, but just summoning that person back to the castle.
Is Evitalia like actually trying to carry the axe, or do you have someone carrying it for you?
I'm assuming that I have at some point during our travels given up all my pride and tried to carry this axe and let Veronica carry it for me.
I am begrudgingly lugging it around for her.
Are you carrying it like it's your axe and you're ready to use it, or are you carrying it like this belongs to somebody else and have it packaged up like it's a precious item?
It's packaged up because it's not my weapon.
It sells it better, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's like why is this noble carrying an axe around? You know,
And to not
They can't even
give
wield it.
suspicion or anything, he'll get the summons written up, and instead of having his own take it out, he'll hand it off to your character, Ed. He'll say, I put nothing on here about the axe, so you relay that part. Make sure that comes here.
Agreed. You say, and like I said, my fee 50 gold, and I'll take care of the dwarf. I'll keep him out of it. He's going to come in here after it. I'm sure he is. As soon as anyone with that axe shows up in your court, he's going to come after it. He's going to come in here and he's going to try and steal it out from under your nose. I'll take care of him. I promise. And you know what? You can give me the fee after. Then I go out and I get the party and I explain what's going on. I also explain that I'm going to have to Kristen's character that I'm going to have to rough him up.
I don't think that's difficult.
Who are you roughing up?
All you would have to do is wipe some of the makeup on his face off, and there you go.
This
Roughing
one
up
comes
me.
pre-roughed up.
You guys just go in. The king's going to make you an offer. It's going to be a really good offer. It's not going to make any sense. That's all right. Just take the offer. It's like, except for you, Kristen. What's your character's name?
Marcus.
What was
Oh,
it?
sorry.
Bart.
Well, I don't know if you need my the NPC name.
What's your assumed name? Well, Barnabas. Anyway, whoever you are at the moment. Barnabas, you're going to come in slightly afterwards, like you're pursuing them, and then I'm going to rough you up on the entrance into the castle, and then we're just going to collect our stuff, and then we're going to go ahead and get out of here.
Sounds like a plan.
Alrighty. So who's going in to talk to the king first? Oh, and there is that other NPC guy. Tice, what's the name of this noble that you're going to be playing as, who heard about this wondrous opportunity in a bar?
I am Sir Reginald Greybeard, a noble dwarf.
Reginald is approaching the king, looking for a axe and an opportunity. Reginald, what would you like to say to the king? You've heard that there's somebody around here that is possibly preparing to sell a priceless heirloom dwarven battle axe. Some guys are going to try and buy it anyway, but you know that the king has authority over such transactions, and so you could get the king to override who is allowed to purchase this precious relic. Do you want to seek an audience with the king, or do you want to try and look for the person doing the selling?
Oh, my good fellow, I think I might look for him myself. No, get straight to the chase.
I did not hear that. You said you went straight to the source?
Yeah, I went straight to the source. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I boosted your volume. Okay, so the the crew finds you as they're getting ready to go into the king's chambers.
Excuse me there.
Yes? Who are you?
Well, I'm the great Reginald Greybeard. I've heard from a grapevine that you might have something of a dwarven artifact on you.
What's it to you?
I mean, you've specifically been told that they don't know that it's a dwarven artifact. So you just price yourself up.
I think I'm okay with that.
I'm perfectly fine with that too.
The the king's announcer is ready to announce your presence for the audience. He stands by the door waiting for you to enter.
I have an audience with the king, but about something wants to buy off of me. So I have to go in there now, but we can chat later about this artifact that I definitely have.
You don't want to let this opportunity pass you by. You're going to have to go in there with them.
Of course, I'll light my pipe and I'll follow them. I posted a picture of him in Talus.
All right, so the announcer announces the let's see, Sir Reginald and the lady. What was your character's last name?
Hellfire.
Hellfire. And company.
lots of.
And yeah, you're in the throne room together. The king is there. Of course, the one dwarven anthropologist is not here, but a member of your court, kind of a regular, has shown up. It's Reginald. He's always around, and he seems to have somehow gotten wind of the axe. You don't know if he's told the owner of the axe currently of its value. Obviously, I'm putting value in air quotes for the sake of the party, but as the king, you don't know that. How would you like to handle this situation, Your Royal Highness?
So what was it you mentioned earlier on? Like, is it normal for a king to just be like, I don't want people in my kingdom purchasing things?
So one of the sort of perks of being the guy with all the money is you kind of get to tell people what they do. Kings are not greatly removed from mob bosses in that respect. Often they get a taste of all the action going on, but that's because you are essentially the primary source of revenue for the entire town. You pay the guards have to eat, therefore there is an inn and a marketplace. And that's how the money flows. In this case, you think that there's a big opportunity to add to that wealth without having to go out and fight another dragon. Again, dragon in air quotes, because we know that definitely didn't happen. But, you know, finding some, like, cave troll or something to beat up and take its gold is more of a hassle than this would be. So if you can pull this off, you make more money. Obviously, that's better for you. You can totally just tell this member of your court to stuff it and leave. That's within your power and your rights.
May I also add, though, that presumably you're also trying to impress Avatala, and cutting off business might have interpretations.
That's true. There are appearances to be considered. What's worth more, money or your good name? Obviously, we know the answer for several of the characters in this party.
It's actually a
this one-
combination of both, Rorik.
I can get a new name. It's fine.
And this one somehow has to do both.
Crime needs no motivation.
He'll accept everyone in.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've heard that you want to speak with me.
So do I see what this like wrapped up axe on someone else, right?
I would have it because
Evitali can't carry it.
It appears that Evitalia's bodyguard is transporting a carefully wrapped axe that is not prepared for actual combat use, the way that the rest of her weapons are. It's been delicately wrapped like a precious package.
He'll mention the reason I summoned you back is if you may have noticed from the performance yesterday, and he'll call out the gesture again, and he'll have him reenact a part of it, to which he picks up an axe and has to use it to once again do quick changes and fight some troll or something. And so he says, I noticed you had something very similar to what I find to be among my favorites. And I was wondering if you could, if I could see it and you could show it to me.
The axe? Yeah. Just picked this up on my travels from like some traveler who did a blind or was happy to. So yeah, you can see it. I'll like gesture for the axe, make a big show of struggling with it as I try to unwrap it.
I'll take it from her and unwrap it for her.
She can see it's quite heavy.
Rorik lifts it with ease.
So what about this?
I assume it looks like just a generic battle axe, right? Nothing special about it.
Yeah.
It might have been like cleaned recently. That might be it.
I mean, it was wrapped in cloth, right? Just taking that off.
Yeah.
Left a nice shine.
It is very shiny.
He goes on to say, just as I expected, it's quite beautiful and it resembles ones I've used. And I would love to add it to my collection and purchase it from you.
That's interesting. Always happy to do business with a fellow noble person. I think this gentleman here was also asking me about it, so yeah, fair's fair business, you know. I'm happy to sell it, but whoever offers me most is gonna get it.
Reginald, would you care to bid against your king?
In the back of the room, whenever Kristen's character comes in, I'm going to just, as loudly as possible, be like, I'm sorry, but you can't come in here. The king is currently holding court. Important business deal happening. You'll have to wait. And then I look back at the king and give a big wink.
Nice.
Of course. It's such a wonderful item that I definitely want to get my hands on it.
When Ed's character is trying to stop me, I'll make a big fuss about it, trying to kind of add to the.
All right, play it up.
Is that another business partner I hear?
Do you want to make a play to enter the room?
I don't know if that will necessarily help our cause here.
It would require a performance test in order to appear to be struggling appropriately against Dasco.
Yeah, I don't really have performance. I was just trying to think of ways you might use my helper dice.
You can get those helper dice for any action that you want to perform in a social situation.
So you could use them in this situation, exactly.
Excellent. Cool. Yeah, in that case, then, yeah, I will make a performance. I don't really have much there. Well, I don't have any performance, but then I'll add some helper die to that.
Yeah, just to say goodbye to Chris real quick. When this deal is done, I feel like this is a good place to wrap it up, just because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping to stop about 15 minutes ago, but it's going a little slow. That's okay. We can stop here. We can just stop here. We can handle this tomorrow or next week.
I'd be happy to do so, yeah. Leave on the cliffhanger.
Yeah, let's leave
How
it on a
much money
cliffhanger,
do
then
we split
we'll
up?
find out what happens next week.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and hand out experience, and probably hand out Chris's real quick.
Yeah, I'll go because I have to drop early. Or Chris, you want to go first?
You can go first.
Sure. Yeah. So, Chris, for your awesome leadership skills, you made great strides there, and just a dice on the table. But I believe in you. I believe that you eventually get some leadership stuff coming up. Rap for the battle axe for picking it up, and then mostly for actually like attempting to use it and then not being able to like wield it and the dragging across the ground. I thought that was awesome. Also, it turned out that it was valuable later on. Jackie, awesome combat. We need you because we're hopeless otherwise. Hopefully, we get some more combat skills coming up. Kristen, good work GMing in your scene. I thought that was pretty great. Troy, you're doing a great job in your scene as well. I also like your dagger knocked and loaded situation where you're confused by Tice's attempt at leadership that also failed. And then Tice, good on you for the Dwarven, the old Dwarven noble attempting to come in and scalp some money. Greedy people are great for our characters. So.
All right. I'll go. Jackie for just dominating on the battlefield. Thank you. Viv for just taking over and running everything for us, literally getting doors opened, and I like your character's like naivety towards crime, but like just gung-ho attitude about finding any opportunity to do it. Ed for making creating an opportunity to get us the cash, and looking forward to our most intricate plan being about a battle axe that no one cares about. Tyson, for making even the smallest characters that are just going to be gone interesting and seriously. So thank you. And Kristen, for I thought it was a fun little intro to your character, and it was I like the different types of things that we had to do to try to get into unlocking our character. So thank you. And Troy, for yeah, I just appreciated your your interpretation of how horrible my leadership made things for us. So thank you.
I'd like to go next. Chris, for using your flashback to get those documents out of Jax's office, or rather having somebody else get those documents to plant. Hopefully, we'll see some interesting story threads come together for that. For Troy, you get a point for this poor abused jester. His performances and having to be the only actor in a one-man show. Vivian, you get a point for trying to fight even though you can't, which is great. I love the attitude. Ed, for orchestrating this. Oh, actually, you know what? You've operated 2 cons with 2 worthless items so far. And the first one, I'm going to give you the point for the worthless copper necklace that you exchanged for information. Kristen, for just good GMing, setting up the scenario to get Barnabas out, and also for you immediately being able to jump in and using your criminal potential, and us getting a little taste of like what your character's capable of. And Tice, I love that you threw a shield in a battle to try and help trip the enemy up. That actually helped, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was actually a successful roll, and that was super helpful in finishing that combat for me. I think I got everyone.
So yeah, I want to go next. I want to give one to Jackie. I want to try this little achievement thing as well. One to Jackie. Hashtag I threw it on the ground for taking out the torture that way. Ebenero, I want to give one. Let's see, if I remember exactly. Hey, is this your dagger? For taking the dagger from the guard and like basically trying to use it, holding him hostage with it. Echelon. Explosive snake oil salesperson for using literally snake oil to basically have everyone in like a live grenade situation. One hashtag nice gesture for having to play the jester of court of who they knows as someone that actually did any of the things. One to Rav for what was it? For just their skills and their being able to commit, being able to like hold this group together to get there, to get to the place. And I want to give one to Shifty. Now I'm the one that's in control. You did pretty well as a GM.
All right. I'd like to go. First off, point to Ed for again, not only using the fake explosive once, but using it twice. Point to Chris for just confusing the dude when he was threatening our hostage by just saying, so what? So what? I think that was you, wasn't it? That might have also been Ed. It's point to you for your leadership during that either way. Point to Jackie for carrying all my stuff because Avatala is a rich girl and it shows. Point to Tice for coming up with these on-the-spot, fully fleshed out characters with charm. Mostly for us to just use them and dump them by the wayside. Point to Kristen for the petty bitch that Jax was. I really enjoyed that storyline. And point to Kite for this absolutely incredible king who has done absolutely nothing to deserve the royalty. That's a great character that I do hope we get to see again. I believe that's also everyone.
All right, I'll go next. All right, point to Viv. Battle axe badass. It was a great decision to get that battle axe, and it just led to so many cool scenes from not being able to carry it and it getting stuck in the floor to the ridiculous auction that's going on at the close of the session. Point to Chris. Act like you belong. When you tried to open the door with the key, despite there being heavily armed guards posted at the door, just like, hey, I'm just going in the room. No big deal. Point to Jackie. When you were like, screw the intelligence. Tice's character was trying to get some intel on what was going on behind the door, and you were just like, screw this. Let's just go in the room. That was a great character moment. Point to Tice for that NPC you were playing, military intelligence, your attempt to try and learn more and trying to get some intel before we went to the room so that we would at least be prepared. And then a point to Ed. I want to believe, that's your achievement, for the epic deception, pretending to have a bomb when you're really just throwing watered down Ashta at people. That's going to come in handy, I'm sure. And a point to Troy, your achievements wet behind the ears for the NPC you played at the beginning. I thought it was really hilarious that, this character that's new to being a mercenary, just knocking daggers on their bow and just completely not knowing what to do was pretty hilarious. I think that's everyone.
All right, we'll go. Chris, I'm going to jump on the flashback you did. Just the thought behind it was really good. Just the extra effort of getting paperwork and all that. Something to leave proof. Viv for the axe drag, which was fantastic. Just that you tried to swing an axe that you couldn't really hold. But it's solid and it goes with your wrench in keeping. Ed for immediately making money plans as soon as you could. You get in the castle and you're going to make money out of this situation. This character is just going to get better and better. Jackie for not only the ground face smash or head smash, I don't know how to phrase it, but that it was just just kill him. It's just done. And also that it didn't change anything. It was the ground face smash, and that's what killed them. Tice for I trying to add some character to the NPCs, but still you're you're treating them like characters, which is cool, and it's good. It makes it more meaningful when even if you're someone for 10 minutes or half an hour or whatever. And then Kristen for just the inn and the tavern, the start, and the way the characters were, your like initial NPCs were treating everybody and not even wanting to like do anything. It was just a nice, like, it was a good start. That's all.
Awesome session, everyone.
Indeed.
Happy birthday,
Thank
Tice.
you.
Happy birthday, Tice.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, everything.
Thanks.
Cheers.
We can count 6 experience points for everybody tonight.
That's consistent with my math as well.
Yeah. And from the experience from last week and this week, I've now got my necromancy up to 4.
Nice. How's your criminal potential?
It's at 3.
Ooh, very powerful. Okay.
Good lord,
What is happening?
sir.
Have you seen
You gotta
his
calm down, sir.
Have you seen his flashback power?
No, actually, I haven't seen it.
I can't wait to
But
see
I think
how
that's
you
gonna
guys
have to
use
be
this.
till tomorrow because I'm like straight up falling asleep in my chair. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
I'm just gonna read out Tice's flashback power just to put it in the record here. I just gotta find it.
I'm gonna head to bed as well. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Yep, good night, guys.
Is it Charles? Is that the one? Yeah, here we go.
Yes.
Tax 1 whenever narrating the Wait, is that what I wrote? Oh yeah, tax 1 whenever narrating the bypass of any challenge with secret information, such as knowing a password, lock combination, or a family member's dying words, to trigger a flashback scene in which the baker uses necromancy to acquire the needed information from a narratively reasonable ghost of a deceased character. If the ghost has an exceptional reason to object, such as trying to protect a beloved family member or having been killed by the party, then a roll can be required to force the information out of it, but no further tax is required.
I like that narratively reasonable ghost. That's going to be super, super nice.
Yeah.
Just imagine all the situations that could have been dealt with if I was one of the first ones that acquired.
Too easy.
There's a lot of combo potential with that one too, where like Jackie's character could do a flashback to basically kill somebody who would have been in the scene at some point before they got a chance to be there, and then Tice can use his flashback power to have acquired their passwords. Yeah. I like that you guys are getting the hang of using the flashback stuff to get out of situations and manipulate things in your favor. So this is good practice as you go through the Middle Kingdoms. I think by the time you guys get to Sleep Ray, you'll be ready to unleash a really crazy, complicated plan. We shall see. I'm going to stop the recording here. Have a good night. We'll see you guys next week.